Hello beautiful people, welcome back again to my channel. If you're joining for the first time, my name is Susan and I'm shooting this from Namibia, Africa. So don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to comment down below where you are watching us from while you're watching the video. So today we are going to talk about a serious topic or something that I've been battling with or I've been dealing with, though it's not diagnosed by a doctor. So for some time now, I've told myself that I was suffering from social anxiety. Why did I come to that conclusion? Because throughout all the things or the books or the internet where I read about social anxiety, it told me that I have the symptoms of social anxiety. And what are the symptoms? According to Google, the symptoms are the fear of being judged by people in public spaces and also just feeling self-conscious, feeling less or feeling judged by people. And most of the time, the people don't even know that you are having anxiety because you seem to be extroverted in public and confident. So that's how a person masks it, even if they are going through anxiety, social anxiety. So in that, I found myself that going through the same thing. Like I feel confident when I'm around people, but inside, I could be judging myself, I could be self-criticizing and all that. So for me, I realize that it's happening a lot when I'm in a new environment. So when I find myself out of my comfort zone, for especially that I'm just a village girl. I grew up in the village. I'm a woman now, by the way, not no more a girl. But yeah, growing up, I have been a village girl. And people coming to my house when I was growing up, I would run away. Like when we receive visitors, I would run away and I'll come back when they leave. Or my mother would send us to the cooker shops or wherever with my little sister. And when we reach there, I will hide behind the bush and I will send my sister to go do what my mother sent us to do. And then she'll even bring me some food or drinks by my bush. So that's when it happens. It happens when I'm out of my comfort zone or when I'm meeting new people. The other way or the other time when I feel like it's happening, it's when I'm not looking good. Sometimes I just feel like I'm not looking good. I'm this one person who doesn't like looking really good, because if I look really good, then people will be attracted or people will be drawn to look at me and what I'm wearing instead of just letting me pass. That's why if you see me, I'm always dressed. I try to look comfortable. Of course, sometimes I like looking good, but I don't like it when my attire is the one that's attracting you to look at me. So when I'm not looking good, I feel judged. I feel like people are judging me. I feel like people are looking at me and I feel like I'm making a mess or I'm embarrassing myself. The other time is when I don't feel good. So when I'm not in a good mood, I tend to start thinking that it's showing on my face and that I'll start looking funny on my face, and then the anxiety comes. The other time is when I'm with somebody that's drawing attention in any way. It could be embarrassing, it could be like attracting people. Like this could be when a person is just dressed too nice and people will be looking at us. As I have stated earlier, I don't like it when people are looking at me because I feel like they will find something wrong with me and that will make me look bad in their eyes or something like that. So when I'm with somebody who's drawing too much attention, I tend to get social anxiety because I feel like people will be looking at us. Even if they didn't want to, they will be looking at us because of this person. Or when just the person is too loud, then people will be looking because this person is too loud. Or when the person is smelling bad, and then we'll be like, oh, she's with this person who's smelling bad, but she didn't say anything, or she also smelling bad, or something like that. Or just when a person is too confident that they don't know that they are embarrassing themselves. There are some people who are too confident. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to be confident, but to me, I feel like if you are super confident and you don't see anything wrong with you, or sometimes you don't feel like there's something wrong with you, then maybe you might be going through something also like me, going through anxiety. So when somebody is too confident and that they don't even see something wrong and they will be loud and then they will be, all over the place, then I'll be like, ooh, they'll be looking at me, they'll be judging me and all that. So You might be wondering what happens when it's really happening or when I'm going through this social anxiety. So number one, let me say I'm already at a place where it's happening, or where there is a social gathering where there are people. If I'm already at the place, I just get grumpy for no reason. I get angry for no reason, because I don't know, I just want to get going. I want to leave the place. Another thing is that I'll get irritable. Don't ask me a question. Don't talk to me. If you talk to me, I might answer you bad, because I'm already in a headspace where I want to escape. The other thing is that I get self-conscious. I'll start judging myself, judging everything I'm wearing, judging everything I say, and judging even how I breathe, probably, or how I eat, if it's an eating situation. The other thing is that I just withdraw. I withdraw from people that I am with, and I just want to escape. I try to leave. Maybe sometimes I will leave. Sometimes I'll just keep quiet. Sometimes I will hide somewhere where people won't see me. Like, if we are at a place, I might even sit in a corner, or I'll just try to be quiet. Sometimes I talk though. Sometimes I talk a lot so that I will erase the nervousness. Because if somebody saw me at a party or somewhere, they would think, oh, this person is so active, she's confident, she's what. No, I'm not. I'm actually just trying to erase the fear of you judging me. So I talk, maybe so I feel a little bit cool, or I don't know. Don't judge me, because I'm sure you're there like, oh, you want people to think you're cool or something. Of course, some things you just can't stop them from happening. So for me, I feel like I don't like looking like an idiot in front of people. Though sometimes the things you do because of anxiety will make you even feel like an idiot in front of people, or make you that way. But yeah, those are the things that show me or tell me that it's happening. So this, for example, when we started going out with my husband, we went for a trip in Etosha, and we were supposed to go for dinner. It was a nice buffet dinner, New Year's buffet. I didn't go. I told him I couldn't go for some reason. And then he didn't even know that I had this problem, but I just told him I couldn't go. They had nice food. So he had to go and organize with Etosha people. It's a game park, by the way. I'm sure some of you have been there. So he started talking to people that they should bring us some food to the room and all that. And it was embarrassing for him, probably, because imagine a person you are just trying to learn, and you see, like, are they crazy? Like, why doesn't she want to do that? And then the next morning again, we were supposed to go for breakfast, and I still just started judging myself, criticizing myself, and then I couldn't go for breakfast. And he came carrying food. He even had eggs in his pockets or in a small plastic. He brought me food, and that's when I was like, oh, that's so sweet. But it also made me wake up, like, come on, you can't be doing this, because look at this guy. He's a man, and he came carrying food for you. Like, what's going on? Snap out of it. Of course, I snapped out of it for a second, but you always go back to those places. Maybe I need to seek therapy. What do you think? Comment down below. Do you think you have social anxiety? Do I resonate with you? I mean, some of these things I'm saying, do you relate to? Do you think you have social anxiety? Comment down below and let me know. So while you're commenting, I'm going to tell you why I feel like it's happening. Why do I think it's happening? Or why do I think I have this social anxiety? Number one, I told you about growing up in the village, and our life there is just different. Number two, in the village or where I grew up, we have this thing of people wanting you to look a certain way, or people want you to have things, or people want you to, to dress a certain way, even if you can afford it. There's like a standard. And don't get me wrong, especially if you are Vambo or you are Namibian and you feel like I'm not making sense here, bear with me. When you are getting married in a Namibian wedding or in a Noshivambo wedding, you are expected to feed 1,000 people. You are expected to build the house first, and then you get money again to get married. All those cows, the food to feed a lot of people. You don't even invite people. The only people you invite is family members and friends, and then the rest will come on their own, but you still have to feed them. And if you get married and you don't feed people, the whole village will be talking about you. All the people will be talking about you. Your friends, even some of your main friends, will just come to your wedding to talk about what you didn't have at this wedding. And if you go to these houses, to any people's houses, people will be like, oh, you didn't build your father's house. Your father's house doesn't look nice. Or, oh, that house doesn't look nice. There's only one room. But maybe there's even one person only in that house. Why do you want them to have 5 rooms if there's only one person? Or if the house only has 5 people and it has 5 rooms, why do you want me to build again another room? For what? I don't understand that. But so now the criticism I grew up with people criticizing others for what they eat, for what they wear, for what not. It makes me feel less, or it makes me feel judged. Even before somebody judges me, I feel judged because that's what I grew up with. It's not my fault. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not my fault. It's the environment I grew up in. The other thing is that I feel like I have not been exposed to different situations or different events. Growing up, I didn't go to weddings. I didn't go to birthdays. I was just at home. School, home, school. Even weddings, we didn't go. It's only adults that went because, you know, like you'll be there and you are a kid with boogies and you want to eat people's food and whatnot. My parents didn't want that embarrassment, I think, and they never really let us go to weddings. The other thing is that I have not been around strangers because when the strangers will come to my house, I'll run away. So that's when I wish my parents like could have pushed me more to be around these strangers and interact with them. Maybe it could have helped. So the other thing is that I feel like I have not been pushed out of my comfort zone enough. I used to run. I used to play soccer. I used to do everything. But by the time I'm told to go play somewhere else, I tell my parents, they will say, you won't go. So what else can you do? For example, for me, going to the capital city, which is Windhoek, I only went there when I was like 17, already turning 18. Imagine a whole full-grown person who just grew up in the village without knowing how to turn on the TV, without, you know, I didn't know all those things. TVs, electricity, for example, we had it at school, but what electric equipments did I have, or appliances or whatever? Nothing. So I didn't know anything about that. So now when I'm in a different situation, I'm in the capital city around people, different people, white people. Okay, I'm married to a white person, by the way, but but it's still different, like when you're around those people. And as I said already, like growing up in the village with people judging you, when you go to America, like when I went to America, I forgot that Americans, or I just assumed Americans are like Namibians also, they are judging me, which is not true. It's not the case, because in America, you might be going somewhere and you're walking by, nobody cares. Everybody is just minding their business, going their own ways. But even in my town, if I just go in my town and I'm wearing something funky, somebody will see me and they'll be like, oh, I saw Susan and she's so dusty. Like, oh, what happened, you know? So I try by all means not to be dusty when I go. But even if you're not dusty, somebody else might find you dusty. So I overthink, I overanalyze. And those are some of also the symptoms of anxiety, social anxiety. So tell me, if you have had social anxiety and how you have overcome it or overcame it, give me tips.